Imagine opening your eyes and finally feeling like you're in control, that no matter what the day brings, you're ready. But the truth is, that doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you train your mind to endure, to focus, to master itself. How much longer will you let your mornings defeat you before you learn to win them? In this video, you'll discover 12 Stoic meditations to start every morning with strength and purpose. 12 reflections that not only calm the chaos in your mind, but also teach you to embrace each challenge as a teacher. Here, you won't find empty speeches or impossible promises. You'll find practical wisdom to set your days and your life straight. These teachings, born from the toughness of the Stoics, will remind you who you are and what you're capable of. If you make them yours, you'll learn to stand tall even when everything around you seems to fall apart. Stay with us and discover how to conquer your mornings and your destiny. I don't know if it's happened to you too, but sometimes the morning feels like a cruel joke. Let me tell you Hector's story, because it might sound all too familiar. Hector's mornings were pure chaos. The alarm would go off and he was already late. He answered messages while brushing his teeth, hunted for socks with one hand while trying to tie his shoes with the other. He spilled coffee on his shirt, forgot his keys at home, and ran down the stairs feeling like the world was collapsing on him before the day even began. Until one morning, the chaos decided to collect its debt. As he rushed down the subway stairs with his phone in one hand and his tie crooked, he tripped on a step and tumbled down like life itself was shouting, "Enough!" He ended up on the floor, his eyebrow split open, papers scattered, and dozens of strangers staring. Of course, nobody stopped. Nobody helped him, and for the first time he understood that he was running this race alone, and he was losing. That night, sore in body and even more bruised in pride, he sat in the dimly lit kitchen, asking himself why he kept living like this. On a strange impulse, he picked up his phone and ordered one of those reflection journals he'd seen in an ad. More out of sarcasm than hope, like buying a lifebuoy in the middle of the desert. When the package finally arrived, he flipped through it without much interest. The first pages were blank, waiting to be filled with thoughts. But in one corner of a page, there was a printed phrase that cut through him like a knife. "It is not the things that happen to us that disturb us, but our opinion about them." Epictetus. He froze, that phrase hanging in the air. Suddenly he understood. It wasn't the traffic, or his boss, or the fall, or his partner. It was him. It was what he kept telling himself every morning that was dragging him down. The next day, something changed. For the first time, he woke up before the alarm. He didn't touch his phone. He opened the journal and wrote, "Today I decide what disturbs me." He walked down the subway stairs slowly, without rushing. When someone shoved him, he took a deep breath and thought, "That's theirs, not mine." Over the next weeks, he filled the journal with small meditations, and little by little, something in him straightened out. Until one coworker said to him, "You seem different, like nothing can touch you." Hector smiled, held up the journal, and replied, "Nothing strange. I just started my mornings with these 12 Stoic meditations, and my life changed forever." That's how a fall, a journal, and a phrase from Epictetus taught him that mornings aren't won by running, but by choosing how to live them. If you've ever felt like the chaos beats you before you even step out the door, stay. Because this video can also help you decide what disturbs you and what doesn't. Tell me something. How long have you been waking up feeling like the day drags you instead of pushing you forward? Like the moment you open your eyes, you're already late. Everything feels heavy, and you have no control. If you see yourself in this, subscribe and become an exclusive member to start winning your mornings and your mind. And tell me in the comments, what's the first thing that steals your calm when you wake up? Or just write, "Stoic at heart. Today I choose to take charge of my own life." 1. Stop looking for yourself and start creating yourself. My friend, who are you? Do you really know? Are you that person you see in old photos? The one your parents dreamed you'd become? The one your friends expect you to be? Or the one your boss thinks you are? Or are you still waiting to find your true essence somewhere out there, as if it's hiding under a rock with your name on it? Let me tell you something. Maybe you've spent years searching for yourself out there, without realizing you've always been inside, just waiting for you to make up your mind and start. You're not a statue buried under marble waiting for someone else to set you free. You are the sculptor, the chisel, and the marble all at once. You decide what figure comes out of that block. But of course this sounds poetic, until life puts you face to face with your own indecision. Picture this. You decide to move to another city because you think there, finally, you'll discover who you are. You arrive with a suitcase and a couple of poorly folded dreams. Days go by and you start looking for a job, trying to make friends. You sign up for a gym. You even buy a plant to feel more like an adult. But after 2 weeks, you realize you still feel exactly the same as before. Except now you also have to figure out the subway and pretend you know how the bus card works. And meanwhile, you keep asking yourself what's wrong with you, why you can't seem to find yourself. You don't understand it, and that frustrates you even more. Maybe the only thing missing is hearing this meditation from Marcus Aurelius, which is still all you need to start creating yourself. The life of each of us is what our thoughts make of it. That's simple. Stop waiting to feel ready and start acting. Because the idea that one day, out of nowhere, you'll magically discover your purpose is about as real as thinking Marcus Aurelius would sit down today to fill out an Instagram quiz to find out what kind of sushi he is according to his zodiac sign. If Marcus Aurelius lived in our time, he'd be too busy writing his own menu to waste time on that nonsense. Listen, the only way to know who you are is by creating your own path, not waiting for someone to tell you which way is right. Every time you act, you get to know yourself a little more. Every time you choose, you build yourself. If you keep waiting for perfect signs, perfect instructions, or the perfect moment, you'll stay exactly where you are, collecting excuses. So, my friend, if you're ready to stop searching and start creating yourself, try this. First, before getting out of bed, take 1 minute to visualize that version of yourself you want to become. As if you were the hero of a movie. Give them a name, invent their habits, define their values, and watch them walk through the day ahead. Don't be modest. Ask yourself, how would this character act today? And behave like them, even in the smallest details. Second, choose one small morning habit that fits with that version. Something you can do before you leave the house. It can be as simple as doing 10 push-ups before your shower to feel strong, or making a decent breakfast instead of rushing out with just a coffee in hand. You can also leave your phone outside the bedroom, so you don't start the day with social media, but with yourself. If your hero reads, open a book for 10 minutes while the coffee brews. And most importantly, stop waiting for signs. If you're hesitating each morning about whether to do something or not, do it. If your mind tells you today isn't the day, ignore it. If you wonder whether you should talk to someone, do it. If you're not sure whether to sign up for that course, you already know the answer. Every morning, act. Because even if you do it badly, even if nobody notices, it's already better than standing still, watching your days slip through your fingers like water. Every morning, this meditation reminds you of something essential. You are not what you stumble upon by accident, nor what people expect you to be. You are what you build with intention, one strike of the chisel at a time. So get up and start carving, because your morning can be your best weapon against the chaos of the day, if you choose to wield it. 2. Your reaction changes everything. My friend, you are not what happens to you. You are what you do with what happens to you. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll find peace. Sounds nice, almost poetic, but in the mornings we forget it far too easily. All it takes is for something to brush against your patience right after stepping out the door, and your calm flies out the window before you've even finished your first coffee. The thing is, problems are like those salespeople who ring your doorbell during your nap. You decide whether to let them in, have them steal half your afternoon, or dismiss them gracefully, with a smile and the door firmly closed. You hold that key. Always. But of course, when the alarm goes off and you can't even remember where you left your socks, it's hard to keep that in mind. Picture this. You're on the subway, crammed between people, your mind still half asleep. Someone bumps you with their shoulder, doesn't even look at you, and cuts in line. You stand there, jaw clenched, replaying it over and over. You think about what you should have said, what you should have done, and before you know it, you've let a stranger decide the mood for your entire morning. Because it wasn't the shove that ruined your day. It was what you chose to think about that shove. And yet, some people seem immune to that poison. Like Simone Giertz, that Swedish YouTuber who became famous not for building the best robots in the world, but for creating the worst ones. On purpose. At first, she just wanted to learn electronics. But she realized that every time something failed, instead of getting frustrated, she laughed and learned even more. And you know what she did? She turned that reaction into her personal trademark. Robots that were completely useless, but showed off her creativity and her good humor in the face of failure. One tried to make sandwiches and shredded the bread. Another tried to comb your hair and ended up tangled in it. For years, every misstep became a show that inspired millions. Because it wasn't what happened to her that defined her. It was how she chose to react. That small shift made her strong, creative, and authentic. And that's a lesson you can apply too. If you train your mind every morning to look at your own mistakes with less drama and more curiosity, your life will change forever. Epictetus said it centuries ago. We are not affected by what happens to us, but by what we think about it. That voice that blows everything out of proportion, that turns a shove on the subway into a personal war or a silly comment into a tragedy, is inside you, and you can turn down its volume. The interesting thing is that Epictetus didn't just say this so you'd understand it. He said it so you'd practice it every morning. Because that voice never shuts off completely on its own. Because, let's be honest, you need to take back control of your life. And for that, you need to be less rigid. So let's start training that flexibility in the morning. Why? Because, my friend, if there's one moment of the day when you can prepare your mind to face the storms, it's right before you step into them. Every morning, before leaving the house, stand in front of the mirror. Yes, even with your sleepy face. Really look at yourself and spend a few seconds meditating on how you want to react when, inevitably, something or someone tests you today. Picture the scenes. That person on the subway, the boss cutting you off, the car that swerves without looking. And ask yourself, how would the best version of me respond? You might even smile, because imagining it already puts you at an advantage. If you already know how you'll react, it's harder to catch you off guard. While you're getting dressed or making breakfast, add another step. Take a couple of minutes to breathe as if every breath cost millions. Slow, precious, elegant. Inhale deeply, hold it, let it out calmly. As if your calm were a treasure no one else could afford. No one who breathes like that blows up at the first provocation. If you already feel tension in your body as you walk out the door, repeat this little ritual in silence. 3 long breaths, and remember you still hold the key to decide how to respond. Because training your mind to react with calm and humor is how you turn your mornings into your best weapon against the day's chaos. It's not about avoiding problems, because you can't. It's about deciding how you'll respond before they even arrive. That's the meditation that can change your day, and if you repeat it enough, your life too. 3. If it hurts, it means you're still in the fight. Have you ever woken up with the feeling that something inside you weighs more than the blankets? Maybe this sounds familiar. One day you open your eyes and feel that brick on your chest, a knot in your throat that doesn't go away even with the first coffee. And you wonder if that means you're broken, that you're not cut out for this life you thought you'd have. Well, no, my friend. It means you're still here, fighting. Because only those who are still in the battle feel that pain. Pain is like a fire alarm. It's not the fire itself, but it warns you that something inside needs your attention, that you can't keep ignoring it while the house burns. If you listen instead of running, if you face it instead of hiding, you'll discover that even that discomfort has something to teach you. Picture this. Yesterday you argued with someone who matters to you. You went to bed late feeling like nothing makes sense. Today you wake up with a heavy heart. You try to distract yourself, turn on the radio, grab your phone. but the knot in your throat is still there, stronger than ever. That feeling isn't here to destroy you. It's here to teach you something. It's here to remind you that you still feel, and because of that, you can still change. Marcus Aurelius wrote about this too, as wise as ever. Everything that happens is either bearable or not. If it's bearable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it's unbearable, then stop complaining. Sounds a little cold, doesn't it? Even harsh. But that's exactly what you need to hear. Because in reality, pain is not a curse. It's the process of making you stronger. A test to discover who you are when it hurts. I learned this the hard way myself. Once, after losing a job I thought was perfect, I spent 2 weeks dragging myself through the mornings, feeling like a failure. At first, all I wanted was to distract myself, to make it go away. But it didn't. Until one day I read that if each morning I sat with that pain, without running, I'd eventually understand it. So I did. Every day before breakfast, I'd sit for 10 minutes feeling that discomfort, doing nothing else. And little by little, I started discovering things. What I'd never accept again, where to set my boundaries, what I was really worth. You're probably wondering how you can do this without letting it overwhelm you every morning. First, when you wake up, don't touch your phone. No WhatsApp, no Instagram, nothing. Just get up and spend 10 minutes feeling it. Close the door, put on a sad song if you need to, and let it come. Allow yourself to feel it without fighting. You'll see that even if it doesn't go away, it starts to lose its power. Second, write it down in a notebook with brutal honesty, like no one will ever read it. Today it hurts because, and finish the sentence. Don't sugarcoat it, don't justify it. It could be something like, today it hurts because I feel like I let someone down, or because I'm not where I thought I'd be by this age. The more honest you are, the easier it'll be to make sense of that pain. So tomorrow, when you wake up with that brick on your chest, don't run, don't hide, don't cover it up with screens or rushing around. Stay with it for a few minutes. Listen to it. Because if it hurts, my friend, it means you're still here. And that whether you believe it or not is good news. And now, so you don't forget, write this mantra in the comments and make it yours. Today, I accept my pain because I'm still alive. Because every morning, even the heaviest ones, are part of your training to master the day instead of letting the day master you. 4. Neither yesterday nor tomorrow are in your hands. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow hasn't arrived yet. You know that, don't you? It's logical. It sounds obvious. So why do you start so many mornings with your head full of things that no longer exist or don't exist yet? Anxious about what you did wrong, nervous about what might go wrong. Don't you realize that this way you hand control of your day over to ghosts that aren't even here? Picture this. You spend the whole night replaying something you said 3 months ago. You were meeting someone new, maybe a potential partner, and you made an awkward joke. One of those that only works in your own head. Poof, gone. They never called you again. And ever since, every now and then, that scene comes back like a nightmare on a loop. You don't even sleep well that night. And to top it off, before the alarm even goes off, you're already sweating. You start imagining how badly that meeting this morning is going to go. You get up with cold hands and a racing mind, and by the time you actually get to work, you can't even remember which route you took. Your body was here, but your head had been wandering between 2 places. Neither of them the present. My friend, don't you see? The past and the future are like smoke. No matter how hard you try to grab them, they slip through your fingers. You can spend the morning trying to fix what already happened, or guessing what hasn't yet happened. And all you'll achieve is wearing yourself out before the day even starts. Even Marcus Aurelius, with the weight of an empire on his shoulders, knew how to anchor himself in the present. That's why he wrote, "The only thing that truly belongs to us is the present." And it wasn't easy for him, don't think it was. The Roman Empire was crumbling around him. Betrayals lurked. Wars gave no respite. And yet he refused to be kidnapped by fear of what was coming, or guilt over what he couldn't change anymore. In his journal, in the meditations he wrote for himself every morning, he always came back to the same question. What can I do now, in this precise instant? His strength didn't lie in predicting or regretting, but in acting on what he could actually touch. Something similar happened to Cleo Wade, the writer and poet. She's shared that she began to find peace when she finally accepted that the past couldn't be redone, and the future was just a hypothesis. So she tattooed the word "here" on her wrist to remind herself. Every morning, before getting out of bed, she looks at that tattoo, takes a deep breath and tells herself, "I'm here." And every time her mind tries to pull her somewhere else, she looks at it again and returns to the only thing she really has: now. So what can you do the next time your mind drags you into the past or the future? I challenge you. Each morning, choose a small anchor. It could be a scent like your favorite cologne, or an object like a stone you keep in your pocket, or even a phrase like, "Today I'm here." Something that reminds you you're in the present when your mind tries to escape. For example, you can wear a simple bracelet, and every time you touch it, it brings you back. And during the day, when you feel your thoughts running too fast, try narrating in a low voice what you're doing as you do it. It might feel strange at first, but it works. Say, "Now I'm walking, now I'm breathing." Or imagine you're at the hair salon. While the stylist washes your hair, instead of getting lost in your worries, say to yourself, "The stylist is washing my hair. The shampoo smells good. The water is warm." Sounds simple, right? Well, saying that anchors you to what's happening, not to what might happen or already happened. Don't forget, tomorrow when you wake up, take a few minutes to find your own reminder that this is the only moment you have. Believe me, my friend, living in the present will change your life. You may not need to tattoo anything on your wrist like Cleo Wade did, but if you had to tattoo one word or phrase to remind yourself to live in the now, what would it be? Tell us in the comments and give us some ideas. 5. Don't lie to yourself. Picture this: there's a crack in the wall of your house, small at first, but each day it grows a little longer, a little deeper. You look at it, sigh, and cover it with a drawing your nephew made, a smiling sun with crooked colors. Done. You tell yourself it looks fine now, nobody will notice. But the crack is still there, growing. That, my friend, is what you do every morning when you decide not to really see yourself. When you choose to fool yourself with pretty excuses instead of facing what's broken. Maybe this sounds familiar. You wake up, go straight to the bathroom, and look at yourself in the mirror. You splash cold water on your face, try to smile, and think, everything's fine. But as you comb your hair or adjust your shirt, there's something in your eyes that doesn't quite fit. You stare at yourself and hear that little inner voice, the one that says things like, "I'm not that bad," while you know you've been putting up with something you shouldn't for months. Or, "I'll start tomorrow," while convincing yourself you can still postpone what's important today. Or, "That's just how I am, I can't change," when really you're just scared to try. And while you say these things, somewhere inside you, a little internal lawyer, wearing a suit, glasses, and an impassive look, lifts his head, sighs, and takes note in his red notebook. In red ink, he writes down each lie one by one. "I'm not that bad," lie number 339. Then, "I'll start tomorrow," lie number 340. After that, "That's just how I am," lie number 341. Every morning, as you repeat the same excuses in front of the mirror, he keeps writing, page after page. And believe me, my friend, that notebook weighs more than you think, because every lie you tell yourself doesn't disappear. It stays there, adding weight, widening the crack you pretend not to see. And it doesn't stop there. Every time you blame the traffic for being late, when you know you left late because you didn't plan. Every time you say you don't have time for yourself, but spend an hour scrolling your phone. Every time you point fingers at others for what's really your responsibility. That lawyer writes another line. One more. Page after page. And trust me, my friend, you wouldn't want to see how many pages are already in that notebook. Because every lie weighs. Every excuse is like another brick in the wall between you and what you could really become. And there comes a moment when no nephew's drawing or forced smile in the mirror can hide that crack. Because even if no one else sees it, you feel it. You know it's there. And the more you ignore it, the bigger it gets. But don't worry. This doesn't just happen to you. We all fall into it. Even the famous Mark Manson admits it. For years, he pretended to have it all under control, until one day he looked in the mirror and had enough. He realized the only way forward was to accept his contradictions. He started writing them down, even publishing them. And instead of destroying him, that's what made him strong and allowed him to connect with millions of people who felt the same. But you know who probably didn't fall for this? Seneca. That's why he wrote, "It's not that we have little time, but that we waste much of it." He didn't waste a single minute telling himself stories to feel better or covering up what he already knew he needed to face. He was brutally honest with himself because he understood that life was too short to spend it covering cracks with little drawings. And if Seneca were alive today, believe me, he wouldn't be blaming Mercury retrograde for his bad decisions. He'd have uninstalled horoscope apps the same day he downloaded them, instead of blaming the stars for what was up to him. And now comes the key question. Are you ready to be honest with yourself every morning? Because that ritual of truth, as uncomfortable as it is, can change your day and, over time, your life. First, every morning, before touching your phone, look at yourself in the mirror. Hold your own gaze for 1 minute without moving. Then say out loud the thing you're most afraid to admit today, even if it's something small. I don't want to go. I'm jealous. I feel lonely. Saying it out loud takes away its power. If you can name it, you can face it. Second, before leaving the house, send a message to someone you trust with just one question. If I were completely honest, what should I change right now? Don't try to explain or argue their answer. Write it down and carry it with you all day like a stone in your pocket. Every time you feel it there, remind yourself that the truth doesn't crush you. It wakes you up. My friend, this morning meditation is like cleaning the mirror before you go out. It gives you back your real reflection, without ornaments or drawings to cover it up. Only when you have the courage to look it in the eye can you start fixing what's broken. Every morning you do this, you train your mind to master the day, instead of letting lies master it for you. And little by little, the crack begins to close. 6. If you don't like your life, move. What would you do if you woke up and found a note on your pillow that said, "Your life no longer belongs to you. Get up and run"? At first, you'd think it was a joke, that someone left it to scare you. But after a few seconds, you feel it, that pang in your chest that tells you what you already know, that your life isn't what you want, and the place you're in doesn't make you happy. It's as if deep down you believed you were a tree, standing there in the middle of a park, enduring the rain and cold without moving. Roots sunk deep, immobile, resigned to staying where you are, until one day, almost by accident, you remember, you're not a tree. You have no roots, you have feet, and you can use them whenever you want, so why are you still there, in the same place? Why do you keep convincing yourself every morning that there's no other way out? Does this happen to you in the mornings? You wake up, yawn, look at yourself in the mirror, and already start with the same complaints. This job is killing me. This relationship doesn't make me happy anymore. I can't stand this place. But instead of doing something, you drink the same coffee, walk out the same door, and resign yourself to living the same day again. Doesn't that sound absurd? Like being at home, choosing a movie you don't like, but sitting through it to the credits because, well, it's what I picked. And this is exactly where Epictetus would shake you with a single phrase. First say to yourself who you want to be, then do what you have to do. Because he knew it's not enough to complain about the movie. You have to get up and choose another one. And yes, I know, it sounds like a nice phrase to hang on Instagram. But my friend, what if this time you didn't post it? What if you lived it? What if every morning you started with the question, who do I want to be today? When you wake up, don't stay still. Put on your shoes even if you're not going out yet, and walk around the house as if you were already leaving. Pace the hallway, circle the table, open the balcony door. That physical feeling of moving, even in pajamas, tells your mind, today I'm not staying put. Then sit down with a blank sheet of paper and write at the top, who do I want to be today? Read it a couple of times, breathe, and answer by drawing 2 places. On the left, where you are now, with all the uncomfortable details you already know. On the right, where you want to be, even if it feels far away. Between the two, draw an arrow. And above that arrow, write just one action you could take today to start crossing that path. Just one. To close the meditation, spend a minute imagining your future self standing in the doorway, arms crossed, one eyebrow raised, waiting. Ask them, what would you like me to do today for you? Stay quiet and listen to the answer. It always comes. My friend, you are not a tree. You have no roots. You don't have to stay where you no longer grow. Every morning you repeat this meditation, reminding yourself you have feet, not roots. You prove to your mind that moving isn't just possible. It's the first sign you're still alive. And moving, even a little, is the most powerful way to master your day, instead of letting it master you. And if after all this you decide to get up and take the first step, tell me in the comments with this mantra, Stoic at heart, today I choose to move, because every journey begins with a single step, and yours begins today. 7. If it scares you, it's because it matters. My friend, let me ask you something. How many times have you felt your stomach tighten just thinking about that call you never make because you're afraid of what they'll say? How many times have you typed and erased the same message because you don't know how it'll be received? How many times have you stood at the edge of a change in your life, but just as you're about to step forward, fear stops you? Well, listen closely. If it scares you, it's because it matters. Because what's waiting on the other side isn't trivial. It's something that can change your day. And if you practice it, your whole life. Picture this. Today, you have to tell someone you like them, or ask for a raise, or quit a job you can't stand anymore. Your heart beats so hard it feels like everyone can hear it. Heat climbs up the back of your neck. Your hands start to sweat. The words get stuck, and your mind is already imagining 100 catastrophic endings before you even open your mouth. What if I told you fear is like that yellow light when you're already running late? Most people take it as a sign to stop. But really, my friend, it's a signal to get ready, to grip the wheel and press the gas. If you ignore it, you stay frozen. If you accept it, it wakes you up. Bose, the creator and comedian you've probably seen on Twitch or YouTube, understood this. She said that for years she woke up every morning with a knot in her stomach, imagining all those people watching her, waiting for her to mess up live. At first, fear kept her paralyzed, until one day she told herself, if I don't train my mind every morning, fear will always win. So she decided not to wait for it to go away. Every morning before turning on the camera, she'd sit with a notebook and write, today I'm going to do this scared because it matters. And while she wrote, she could feel her trembling start to calm, her breath finding its rhythm again. Then she'd take a deep breath, smile, and start her day with that little victory. But Epictetus puts it even better. It's not events that scare us, but the opinions we have about them. What paralyzes you isn't fear itself. It's the disaster movie your mind plays before you even try. That discomfort is really just your mind stretching to grow. And no, it's not about becoming immune to fear. As therapist Nedra Glover Tawwab teaches, fear isn't something to eliminate. It's something to invite to walk with you, with clear boundaries and action. Nedra shared that once before speaking in a room full of executives. She wrote on her hand, scared, but I'll do it anyway. And when she stood up to speak, every time she glanced down, there it was, reminding her that fear only mattered if it stopped her. So, my friend, next time your legs shake and you feel like running away, here's how to turn that fear into your ally. First, welcome it out loud. As soon as you wake up, say, welcome fear, but I'm driving. Even if it's just to yourself, even if you feel silly, say it. That phrase puts fear in the passenger seat, not at the wheel. Then, run a little test before the big leap. If public speaking scares you, start by talking to a plant in your kitchen while you have breakfast. If asking for something scares you, practice out loud in the shower, looking at yourself in the mirror with all the awkward words. And then, go and do it in real life. You'll discover that the more you train that feeling in the morning, the less power it has over you when the moment comes. Every morning, when you repeat this meditation, remember, fear isn't there to stop you. It's there to show you the way. Follow it, because fear is the map of the things that really matter. And every day you face it early, you train yourself to master your day instead of letting it master you. You don't share your plans with just anyone. My friend, tell me something. How many times have you woken up with a brilliant idea, feeling like today you're finally going to start something big? And without thinking much about it, you blurt it out to the first person you see, "I'm going to start my business, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to change my life," and suddenly they look at you strangely, laugh, or say, "Do you really think that's for you?" In that moment, the enthusiasm you had deflates like a balloon. Funny, isn't it? Why do we give our energy away to other people's judgments before we've even turned it into reality? Picture this. This morning you wake up with a clear idea. You write it down. You visualize it. It's yours. Then you share it out loud, and immediately you get doubts, jokes, or advice you never asked for. That little seed that was sprouting inside you chills, withers. Your plans are like a ball of dough. If it's touched too much too soon, it won't rise. Just as dough needs time and quiet to grow without other hands poking it, your ideas also need space and silence to mature. Robert Rodriguez understood this when he decided to shoot his first movie on a near-zero budget. Instead of telling everyone his plan and getting opinions that would clip his wings, he woke up every morning with one goal: shoot. And he filmed every last scene without telling a soul. While others talked, he moved forward. By the time he held the finished movie in his hands, there was nothing anyone could say to stop him. That's the advantage of acting first and speaking later. When people finally have something to say, you're already too far ahead for them to reach you. Next time you wake up with that feeling of clarity, also remember Epictetus's words. Stay silent most of the time. Speak only when necessary and then only briefly. He understood that not everyone deserves to know your dreams, that your peace also depends on whom you allow into your mind. Sharing your plans too soon is like opening the windows of a freshly painted house. The draft blows all your work away. And no, it's not about becoming a hermit or distrusting everyone, just about acting first and telling later. If Epictetus were alive today, he'd probably mute half of Facebook before announcing he joined the gym. And he'd keep training quietly, while everyone else was still debating whether it was worth it. So what can you do tomorrow to protect your plans from prying eyes and keep your mind focused? When you wake up, before checking your phone or saying anything to anyone, write your plan down on a note and tuck it in a drawer. Read it silently as a commitment to yourself. That note becomes your little morning conspiracy. The more you repeat it, the stronger that internal promise becomes. Then, instead of rushing to tell someone your plan, rush to take the first step, quietly. If your idea is to write a book, open the document and start the first page. If you want to start a business, make that first call or draft that first design. If you want to change your life, take that step today, even if it's small, but real. Every action, no matter how tiny, is worth more than 1,000 explanations. And finally, look in the mirror and quietly remind yourself, I don't have to explain anything to anyone until it's done. That phrase gives you the freedom to move forward without the weight of other people's expectations. And it also reminds you, there's no better feeling than surprising those who already thought you'd given up. Every morning as you repeat this meditation, remember that your dreams are yours. They don't need to be applauded before their time. Let them clap when they're real. Because that's the best way to show you're mastering your day and not letting anyone pollute it with their doubts. And if you've already decided to start training your mind every morning, There's another video on screen that will take you even further. In it, you'll discover 10 things you can tell yourself every day to stay strong and not lose your way. Watch it, and keep building the best version of you. 9. Forgive and move on quietly. Imagine waking up every morning with a rope in your hands. At the other end is the person who hurt you. The rope is tight, rough, and every time you pull, it burns your palms and leaves marks. You can feel the fibers digging into your skin, cutting deeper with every memory, with every word you never said. And yet you keep holding on, as if letting go would mean losing. The strange thing is, when you finally let it go, nothing happens, because there was never anything but that rope in your hands. My friend, how many mornings have you woken up with that invisible rope tangled between your fingers, remembering what they said, what they didn't do, what they broke? That wound you carry like a backpack full of stones. Maybe you think that to forgive you need to close the story with that person, that you need them to apologize, to give something back, to admit what they did. But no, forgiveness has nothing to do with them. It's yours, and you can let it go in silence, without anyone else ever knowing. I lived it myself. For months, I woke up every morning with that rope cutting into my hands and my chest. I rehearsed in my head what I would say if I saw them, the perfect conversation, the final word. And the more I imagined it, the deeper the rope cut. Until one day, without ceremony, I let it go. I sat on the bed, closed my eyes, and simply said to myself, I give back what isn't mine. I felt a strange warmth in my chest, like someone had lifted a heavy coat off me. That night I slept like I hadn't in years, light, almost at peace. Marcus Aurelius put it bluntly, the best revenge is not to be like those who hurt us. You can repeat that every morning. Forgiving isn't for them, it's for you. To walk out the door with your head held high, to train your mind and master the day without the past hijacking it. And no, I'm not telling you to forget everything or to turn into a saint. Just see it for what it is, a task, like cleaning your house. You don't do it so others can see. You do it because you live there. And that cleaning begins every morning quietly, like sweeping your kitchen before the city wakes. So, my friend, if you really want to train your mind to master the day and stop being tied to someone else's rope, here's how to do it. First, as soon as you wake up, sit on the edge of the bed and close your eyes. Bring that person to mind without arguing, without justifying yourself. Just see them clearly. When the image is sharp, take a deep breath and as you exhale, say softly, I give back what isn't mine. Repeat it several times, with each exhale feeling the rope loosen and your hands empty. Then open your eyes, take a piece of paper, and write a single sentence that sums up what you want to say. Just one. I no longer carry you. Or today I go on without you. Fold it and put it in a drawer as a symbol that the story no longer belongs to you. And every time you see it, remind yourself you already let go. And to seal it, do something for yourself before you leave. Put on a song that makes you smile while you get dressed. Make yourself a nice breakfast. Plan something that excites you for the day. That simple gesture reminds you the day is yours, and the past can't touch it anymore. Remember, the rope was always in your hands. The other person doesn't have to let go. Letting go yourself is enough. And that decision gives you the strength to live your day lightly, instead of being ruled by what's already gone. Every morning you choose this meditation, you prove to yourself that you're the one in charge, not the past. And believe me, my friend, when you finally let go, you don't just change your day, you change your entire life. 10. Don't go back where you already lost your peace. This time will be different, you tell yourself as you look in the mirror, straightening your tie or fixing your hair. This time I'll go back and it won't affect me. But, my friend, how many times have you made that promise? Going back to where you already lost your peace is like trying to sleep in a bed you know is full of nails. You can try again and again, but you'll always end up with wounded hands and a heart full of splinters. Picture this. In the morning you wake up determined and send a message to that group of friends you used to hang out with. convincing yourself that this time it'll be different. You say yes to dinner, thinking it won't hurt anymore. Maybe things have changed, maybe you were just overreacting before. That evening you dress carefully, rehearse in your head how you'll act so their comments won't get to you, and walk to the restaurant with a mix of nerves and hope. At first it seems fine. One of them smiles and asks about your job, another even jokes with you. You relax thinking, see? This time, yes. But 20 minutes later, the old dynamics come rushing back like a tide. A passive-aggressive comment here, a cruel joke there. They laugh at your expense, exchange glances when you speak, as if you're the outsider. And you, who promised yourself you'd stay calm, just swallow hard and think, here I am again. Walking home afterward, hands in your pockets, you feel that all too familiar emptiness. How many more times do you need to prove to yourself that place is no longer yours? Something similar happened to the artist Maggie Rogers. In an interview, she said that early in her career she signed a record deal that was draining her emotionally. Each day she felt less like herself and more like a puppet. Until one morning, as she was getting ready for a recording, she looked in the mirror and asked herself a question that changed everything. Am I still myself here, or just a broken version of me? That same day, she decided to walk away and chose her well-being over fame. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, you must love what happens, not what you wish had happened. If you keep clinging to what was, or to what you think should have been, you completely miss the chance to build what could be. If he were alive today, he'd probably delete his ex's number and uninstall the app from the gym where they didn't treat him well, without thinking twice. Psychologist Tara Brach also teaches, letting go isn't an act of weakness or running away. It's an act of trust that you can open space for something new. Sometimes it's enough to dare not to go back, even if habit tells you otherwise. So what about you? What can you do tomorrow to start your day as your own, without going back to what already broke you? Start in the morning with an uncomfortable question in front of the mirror. Look yourself in the eye and ask out loud, was I myself there, or just a broken version of me? Stay with the question for a moment. Don't rush to answer. That pause alone is enough for something inside you to start clearing up. Then, close your eyes and visualize what your day would look like if you chose not to go back to that relationship, that job, that group. Imagine the details, the lightness in your chest, the pleasant quiet in your mind, the calm on your face. Let yourself feel that freedom for a few seconds, as if it were already real. And finally, before you leave the house, decide what you'll put in its place. A new habit, a space that actually feels good, a person you can truly be yourself with. Write it on a note, tuck it in your pocket, and remember it during the day. It's not enough to run away. You have to build something better. Forgiving, letting go, not going back. It's not easy, but every morning you choose this meditation, you get a little stronger. You're not alone, you're not weak, and you don't have to stay where they broke you. And now, let me ask you, if you had to write in the comments the place you're not going back to, what would it be? Write it like this, Stoic at heart. Today I choose not to go back. 11. Walk as if you couldn't fail. My friend, tell me honestly, how did you walk into the office today? With firm steps and your head held high, or with your eyes on the floor, as if apologizing for even being there? Picture this. The alarm goes off. You yawn. You look in the mirror. You get dressed in a rush, and while adjusting your tie or fixing your blouse, you whisper to yourself, I hope it's not too awkward. I hope nobody notices me too much. You leave the house already defeated, as if the answer to whatever you're about to ask is a no before you even try. Now stay in that scene. You arrive at the office to talk to your boss, to ask for that raise you know you deserve. But the moment you walk through the door, your shoulders slump, your voice shakes, and the first words out of your mouth are, sorry to bother you, but... How do you expect them to take you seriously if you don't even take yourself seriously? That's the difference between mastering your day and letting it master you. Not long ago, I heard an Olympic runner say something that stopped me in my tracks. She said that every morning, right as she was tying her shoes with sleep still in her eyes, she'd ask herself, how would you run this race if you knew you were going to win? Just like that, no frills. And she didn't say it like a cute quote for a coffee mug, no. She said it like someone whose life was riding on that question. At first, she admitted it felt ridiculous. She even laughed to herself when she muttered, sure, as if winning were that easy. But then something curious happened. Just imagining it straightened her back. Her legs felt lighter. Suddenly, she wasn't there to see if she could. She was there to show that it was already hers. That little ritual changed everything. Instead of looking at the others with fear, she looked at them with hunger. Instead of stepping onto the track trying not to embarrass herself, she walked in as if the medal was already hanging from her neck, and she was just there to collect it officially. And it always started in the morning, with her shoelaces in her hands and her head still half asleep. That's when she decided she wouldn't run not to lose, but to win. And we can learn something like that from Seneca and his words. We don't dare to do many things because they're difficult, but they're difficult because we don't dare to do them. If you leave the house every morning expecting to lose, even the easiest road will feel like a mountain. But what if you woke up with your mind trained to act as if you couldn't fail? That confidence seeps into everything you do. The fear will always be there, but you decide where it stands, at the starting line or in the stands watching you move forward. So what can you do to leave home every morning with the sense that victory already belongs to you? First, before anything important, stand in front of the mirror. Set the toothbrush down and practice your posture. Pull your shoulders back, lift your head, look yourself in the eye. Breathe deep and hold that image of yourself for a minute. Even if you're still full of doubt inside, your body will start to believe the story. That little morning ceremony trains your confidence before you even open the door. Second, practice how you speak. Yes, out loud. While you eat breakfast or walk down the hallway, make it a habit to speak as if you've already won. For example, say, when we get this done, instead of what if we try, or today I'm closing this deal instead of I hope it works out. Speaking that way puts your mind in achievement mode, not begging mode. Third, when the day is done before going to bed, write down one small victory from the day. Doesn't matter if it was tiny. Today I asked for what I needed. Today I didn't lower my eyes. Today I walked in like I knew it was mine. That list over time becomes proof that you do know how to walk like a winner, even if you're still on the way. So tomorrow, when the alarm goes off, take a second to ask yourself, how would I run my race today if I knew I was going to win that Olympic medal? Close your eyes. Picture the moment you cross the finish line and feel it in every muscle. Then open your eyes, stand up, and start your day with that energy. Because every morning you choose to walk as if you couldn't fail, your body and your mind start to believe it. And once you believe it, so will everyone else. And now, pay close attention, because the final point isn't just a conclusion. It's the spark that ignites everything else. The detail that turns your mornings into conquered territory. 12. Do it for your future self. Every morning is like a bank opening at dawn, and every choice you make is a coin. Every time you choose what's easy, you make a withdrawal. Every time you choose well, even when it's hard, you make a deposit in that account only your future self will ever use. And believe me, no one else is going to put a single cent in there for you. My friend, think about it. You wake up and the account is empty in front of you. What are you going to put in today? Sleep or debt? Pride or regret? Because the little things you do, the ones that seem insignificant, are the ones that weigh the most when it's time to cash out. Picture this. Last night you stayed up until 3 in the morning watching shows you didn't even care about. Today you wake up groggy, your body tired, and your mind demanding answers. That account already has a hole in it. And then you promise yourself next week will be different. But of course it never is. Now imagine the opposite. Last night you went to bed early. You packed your bag, prepped your lunch, even laid out your clothes for today. This morning your body feels light, your mind grateful. You wake up with a smile, and without even realizing it, you're already collecting dividends. Marcus Aurelius wrote it simply: what isn't good for the hive isn't good for the bee. Because everything you do for yourself today doesn't just help you. It also builds a better tomorrow for everyone who depends on you. Even if you can't see it yet, that quiet investment is already growing. And don't think we're talking about grand gestures here. Quite the opposite. If Marcus Aurelius lived today, he probably wouldn't sit on a marble throne meditating with a solemn face. More likely, he'd step out of the shower, scribble on a post-it, and stick it on the fridge. Don't eat all the pizza. Think of Thursday you. Because even the smallest choices, the ones that seem too trivial to matter, are what end up tipping the scale. That post-it on the fridge isn't a joke. It's a quiet reminder that every little decision counts. Every glass of water you choose to drink, every time you turn the TV off on time, every time you do 10 push-ups instead of skipping your workout, they're like invisible coins dropping into tomorrow's account. That's why Anne-Laure Lecomte from Ness Labs sums it up perfectly. It's exactly those micro-decisions, the ones so small you don't even write them down, that have the biggest impact on your well-being, your mood, and your mental clarity. Because training your morning isn't just about feeling good for a few hours. It's the simplest and most powerful way to make sure tomorrow you wake up a little stronger, calmer, and more in charge of yourself. So my friend, how much longer are you going to leave that account blank? Here's how to start filling it tomorrow. First, when you wake up, write a short note, like a prepayment for yourself 6 months from now. Thank you for not giving up today. Thank you for choosing the hard thing. Thank you for not forgetting about me. Leave it next to your coffee and read it before you walk out. Next, choose one simple, concrete action for today. Something small that your tomorrow self will thank you for. Drink more water, move for 10 minutes, open a book instead of your phone. Finish that task you've been avoiding for days. Doesn't matter what, as long as it adds up. And finally, when you're facing a decision and laziness whispers in your ear, ask yourself, what would the me I want to be do? And choose for them, not for the you of now. Every morning you repeat this meditation, you add a little more to that account. And when the day comes that your future self comes to cash in what you've sown, let them look at you not with reproach, but with gratitude. Because in the end, mastering your day isn't about winning everything today. It's about building something so solid that tomorrow you can live without fear of going broke. So start tomorrow and pay up front for the life you deserve. Training your mind every morning is the key to mastering your days instead of being mastered by them. Every sunrise is an opportunity to choose who you want to be, to take control, and to build the life you deserve. It's not about waiting to feel ready, but about acting with intention, one decision at a time, one small victory after another. Because true strength doesn't appear all at once. It's trained every day, from the very first moment you open your eyes. If you've made it this far, write in the comments, "Today I make my morning my greatest ally." That way, I'll know who the true Stoic warriors are, the ones who made it all the way to the end. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss what's coming next. Also, check the description box. We've left some resources there to help you dive deeper into Stoic teachings. Our goal is to bring you as much value as possible. And if at any point you feel like supporting us so we can keep creating this kind of content, you'll find how to do that in the pinned comment. Now, I invite you to explore the playlist on screen. It's designed to help you face life with greater wisdom and confidence. Click it, and let's keep growing together. Until the next talk, take care and keep embracing your inner Stoic.